tonight's op-ed. Dick Cheney is pushing forward with his campaign to defend torture. Here he is yesterday speaking to Scott Hennen on the Scott Hennen radio show in North Dakota.
This whole question of detainees and interrogation of detainees and the terrorist surveillance program and so forth, closing Guantanamo. I don't think the vast majority of Americans support what he wants to do. I think, in fact, most Americans are pleased when they think about it that we were able to go nearly 8 years without another major attack on the United States. They think we handled that pretty well, that piece of it. We were not a perfect administration, none ever is, but I think what we did in the whole counter-terrorist area was extremely effective.
The ends justify the means. 8 years without an attack, therefore anything they did is justified. There is not one iota of evidence that torture worked. Torture defenders like to use the Library Tower plot as an example. They're out there peddling this ridiculous Jack Bauer story that the good people of Los Angeles were saved only by a renegade administration willing to waterboard Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Except that the plot was foiled a year before Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was captured, and the FBI is skeptical that there ever really was a plot, but that's another story. David Morris attended the U.S. military's SEER program, Survive, Evade, Resist, and Escape. This is where many of the Bush-Cheney techniques were tested on Marines like Morris to prepare them for possible torture situations. Here's how Morris described it. While I was in the school, I lived like an animal. I was hooded, beaten, starved, stripped, naked, and hosed down in the December air until I became hypothermic. At one point, I couldn't speak because I was shivering so hard, thrown into a 3-by-3-foot cage with only a rusted coffee can to piss into. I was told that the worst had yet to come. He sums it up by saying, I was only incarcerated for a few days, but my mind quickly disintegrated. Now, does this sound like the way to get someone to disclose reliable information, or does it sound like the way to get someone to tell you exactly what you want to hear? But torture supporters are very worried about the Obama administration. At least that's what radio host Scott Hennen says. He asked Dick Cheney, who left office with a 13% approval rating, for some assurance.
And these are the kind of things that I think worry people, that essentially you've got an amateur hour going on at the White House.
For a while, there was this talk out there that we ought to cut these guys some slack and that they shouldn't be criticized in the early days of their administration. I haven't obviously spent a lot of time operating according to that proposition.
Again, that was Dick Cheney, former Vice President of the United States, taking his case to a radio host that I've never heard of. Amateur? They're worried that the Obama White House is amateur? Isn't the notion that a terrorist willing to die for his convictions would change his mind while being subjected to waterboarding? Isn't that amateur? Isn't the claim that since we weren't attacked, torture must have kept us safe? Isn't that amateur? Isn't the circular logic that anyone who is in Gitmo must be a terrorist because he's in Gitmo? Isn't that amateur?